Welcome back, guys. I'm Elfnet Gaming, and I got my camera back, thank God. I'm starting to feel lonely without it, so you'll notice that the video quality has greatly improved again. Well, in this video, I have a piece of nostalgia. This Radio Shack headset walkie-talkie. There's the headset, the mic. This is a hands-free thing. It's got box. It also has push to talk. This is the Radio Shack realistic modeled number TRC-506 single channel. These were given to me earlier in the week by a customer who upgraded their radio system to FRS. System that I sold them were some Midland portables, a Midland micro base station. They said they were going to get a GMRS license. I'll leave that up to them. It's not my responsibility to license them. They are grown adults. They can do what they want. Anyways, I put it all in. It all worked. They're thrilled with the range. Of course, these people live out in the boonies. They have a pretty big spread of property, and they used radios to communicate all over that property back to the main house. I had recommended when they do get a GMRS license, they put in a repeater and swap out all the radios with proper, good radios. They said they would think about it. It would be, they were definitely going to get a license. I sent them, I directed them to the place they need to do that at, so we'll see. Anyway, this is a 49 megahertz radio. 49.830 megahertz to be exact. This is what we call on that baby monitor band, is what we called it. I not only got one of these, I've got a couple of more right here. There's some more. I have 8 total. Now, they bought 10 radios in the mobile base station with 12 volt wall wart. They wanted extra. So, does it work? Yes, it does work. I press the button. You can probably see the frequency counter. 49826. It's not very stable, this one. 49832. It's a little off frequency, but not enough to really be a problem. This radio, I'm going to assume, is about 100 milliwatts, if not less. They are voice activated. You got your high, medium, and low mic Vox level, which means high sense, medium sense, low sense. You also have the earpiece volume, low, medium, high. There is no analog. And of course, switch it off. In the middle is manual, push to talk, and Vox automated. Yeah. Transmits on Vox. They gave me all these as part of a trade deal. They did buy new stuff, so for me to recycle these, I'm deciding to keep because of nostalgia. And as a story, I used to have these back when I was a kid, back in the late 80s, early 90s, except mine were 3 channels, not one. They were, I think they were voice controlled. They did have a rotary volume on them. And my friends, we would use them to talk to each other across the neighborhood. They're good for about a quarter of a mile, if that. And that's if you unhook the antenna out of its little plastic prison holder and allow it to freely flop around like a whip. Most people would prefer to keep the antenna, in check like that for close communications. These were widely used early on in the paintball industry. ATVers, I think, would use these. There was also the Citizens Band stuff then. Security guards at nightclubs would use these. You may have seen them there. But I've had these. It wasn't until 1993 that I actually got my first professional radio set that I bought with my mother got me a set of these when I was younger for my birthday, and 3 channels radio. Realistic is Radio Shack. In '92, got my ham license. Moved on from these. I kept these. I don't know where mine are. I'm pretty sure if they're still around this house somewhere, they're decomposing somewhere. But they look very similar to this. So with the ham license, I ended up with this radio. I don't have an antenna on it because it decomposed. It literally came apart. Here's an antenna. It's not the one for this radio, but that's what it looked like when I got it out of storage recently. It was just cracking all the pieces, just making a mess of itself. So I tossed it, and I'm ordering a new one. This radio here, the MT1000, this was a gift. The guy that gave me the ham radio test, if I passed the test with a 90 percentile or higher, like a higher end score, is what they called it, he would give me a radio. And this is the radio that they gave me. It's a UHF. It was all programmed to all the 440 repeaters around town. I later went and had it reprogrammed to GMRS because at the time we got this, we had some friends of mine had a GMRS repeater. It wasn't fancy. It was like the neighborhood thing. It's to get a GMRS license, so we went and done that for the family. And then this radio, so I thought we could do my ham radio. I also had GMRS. So now I could talk to my friends who had upgraded past this to GMRS. Then, working through the summer in '93, a year later of working, I actually bought this radio, brand new from a Motorola dealer here in town. Almost $600 at the time with the keypad option, FM approved, 16 channels, UHF with scan. Mac had it programmed to match this radio. These two will still talk together. They have the ham frequencies in them. They have the GMRS frequencies in them. Though I don't use them anymore, I really am considering getting a new battery for this one and an antenna and putting it back in service, at least on my GMRS system. Because this is a really nice radio. Even today, I consider this a pretty nice radio. This is the Motorola GP300. These radios on eBay go fairly cheap now, as is, no battery, you know. So I'm really considering a new battery and antenna for this. Reprogramming it to my new GMRS repeaters that I have now. The MT1000 is definitely going to need a new battery. I tried to repack this some years ago and the bottom came out. And all it needs is an antenna and a battery as well. And I do have the chargers for these. But my radio career started along the lines with these little things like this. Some of my friends had the actual walkie-talkie with the button. Others had the little, what we call the CIA earpieces, Secret Service type. And this is what we used around the neighborhood, around the area. They were good for what we were doing. You know, kids being kids back then, and we slowly progressed. You know, some of these people have gone off to, you know, working for different companies, doing different technical things. I pursued a radio and IT career. I don't think anyone else did. They just went off doing just other things like diesel mechanic or something. I don't know. I haven't kept up with them. But if anyone was curious how Elf got started in his radio career, it was based around these. Now, there were actually radios before this. They were the old Citizens Band radios. I don't talk about those because I don't have them anymore. They were Radio Shack handhelds. They were really sucked in range. They took a lot of batteries. There were 3 channels. They came with channel 14. My mother and me went and got channel 9 and 19 put in them. We had a CB radio base station because there was one CB radio in the car. So there was that. So it's always been kind of a communications based family, wirelessly anyway. Growing up in the 80s, the CB radio, and 90s with these and these things here. And we move on into modern era. You know, I have my own systems, these, and my ham radios have turned into things like this junk. Just little cheap radios I play with. There are some new radios on the market, and I'm trying to get some deals to where I can do reviews for them. I don't want to buy radios if I don't have to. If they'll send them, let me review them good for them, and I'll give them an honest opinion on, as a user, what I think. I could run them through the shop and put them on the scope and everything, but you know, we'll see. I don't have my service monitor here either to do that, so it's currently out of commission. It's something's wrong with it. It's got a problem, and to be honest, I could fix a lot of things, but I am not going to get involved with repairing that because, quite frankly, I'm afraid to go inside of it to fix it. It's a very expensive piece of equipment, and I don't want to evacerate the problem. Is that the word? I don't want to make the problem worse by tinkering around in it with no service manual or diagram for it. It is a Motorola service monitor. I think it's a 5050. What's the model number? But anyway, that's basically how I got started with radio. It's based around these little things here. Now these radios were stemmed from the toys. If you know what the toys are back then, the toys were like the little G.I. Joe radios or your little Transformers radios that the kids would have that would be open static all the time. They would only talk about 10 feet. They're on the same frequency as these, 49,830. Some of them are on 49,845, but 49,845 is also where a lot of baby monitors are, cordless phones, that sort of thing, wireless speakers, stuff like that. So 830 was down below that for two-way, although cordless phones would come in on these sometimes. That was another thing about the 3-channel ones. The 3-channel ones had 49,845 in them. At least mine did. And there was another frequency. I can't remember. I think it was like 470 or 480 or something was the other one. And then, of course, 830. A, B, and C, you had a selector here. You didn't have this volume high low. You had a rotary and you had channel ABC, like switch thing. So, more versatility. And I remember when we first got these, when my mother bought these for us, we used them at, what was it? It was a festival downtown, first time. So I could keep up with her. And of course, you know, my friends, by the time the festival got there, after I got these, they knew what kind I got. And they went and bought their own from Radio Shack. They were only about $20, $30, $40 or something. You know, they would save up and buy their own. And we'd all be down like at the fair or the festival. Well, at one of the festivals downtown, their security detail were using the same radio. They were actually using this model here, this single channel model. And we were all on the same frequency, and you know, I had agreed to change. I was talking to somebody, I was like, okay, we'll change frequency. And right when I said that, a cop put their hand on my shoulder. He had one, and he's like, why are you interfering with us? I was like, it's not intentional. Then the cop was like, yeah, I kind of figured that. We tried to tell them to get actual radios and not these things because they were so available at the time. But I guess they learned their lesson because the following year they had moved on to the professional radios similar to that. Radius P10s or P50s or something they had next year. They rented from the radio shop. So, yeah, these days this frequency is pretty much vacant. You might hear a baby monitor. Hell, there might be still people using these in places. I don't know. I am going to punch the frequency in on my police scanner with the big outdoor antenna. Or I could just program one of my VHF low band radios to it and just monitor, you know, to see if there's anything on this frequency. But, you know, back in the day, at least for me, I had this similar type of thing. Now, there were other companies that made these. I want to say General Electric made them, Uniden. They're just a variant of color. And these radios were the predecessor to the FRS radio. I guess predecessor is the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I've been busy all day. My brain isn't thinking like a dictionary right now. These were the radios used widely everywhere before FRS radios, the little Cobra, Midland, 14 or 22 channel things that you buy at Walmart. Now, what's these? And of course, the new ones you can get headsets and things like that. So basically, this clipped on your belt, you put it in box, and you wore the headset, and all was good in the world. And with that, I've probably taken up too much of your time with explaining nostalgia toys to you and radio communications, but it just brought back some memories when I was handed these. And I definitely will probably do some range testing with these. I don't know if I'll record it or not. Maybe. We'll get my roommate and we'll see just how far you can go on them. I'll put my police scanner on it or a low band radio on that frequency, see how far that can hear them. I know if I transmit 60 watts on that damn thing, this will hear it for a long ways away. But I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we may do something along those lines. But until then, stay tuned, like and subscribe and all that stuff. It's absolutely free and painless. It's the only way you're going to know if I post anything, whether it be a gaming video or another radio video or just a random rail fanning video or whatever. You can set your notifications up for that. I do live stream gameplay stuff here and there. I am planning a Google Hangout thing with some friends on that I play games with on Steam, just to hang out and talk and discuss this and that, world news and etc, etc. And I'm also thinking about another channel setup for videos non-related to the main genre of this channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below on that and other things. If you want to know more about these radios or this radio or any of these radios, let me know in the comments below. If you have questions or problems with your radio system, feel free to ask. I will try to help the best I can. I have already helped a couple of people in previous videos set up and diagnose problems with their systems, and I'm assuming that they are working okay now because I haven't heard anything from them. And yeah, that's what it all is. All I do ask in the comment section is that you be nice to each other. No trolling, no spamming, no hate speech, none of that stuff. That stuff will be deleted because I do curate my comments. That means I have to approve comments before they are seen publicly. So if it's a comment that is negative, hateful, then don't even bother. It's not going to be seen. I'm really trying to make an effort to make a family-friendly channel here, even though I do use profanity in my gaming videos and yada yada yada. So anyway, I am Elf with ElfNet Gaming, and I will see you in the next video.